So you might be wondering what's going on here. So in other words, a base is in the middle of decaying, and so I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna grab everything that I can from this base. And that's exactly what I'm doing. So as you can see right now, I am just collecting every single cryopod that was here in this base. And holy shit, this thing had so much shit in it. And I'm really happy that we managed to grab this before anybody else. A good amount of stuff indeed, as you can see. Slightly funny thing that happened was that my Maywing almost ended up dying. Just doing good quick back and forth trips, and the Maywing just got caught in like a scuffle, and it almost died, but thank God that it didn't, because this is like my favorite Maywing. Throughout organizing all the stuff here, I realized that my base, while it worked as a base, it was a really shitty base. And so I decided, you know what? I'm gonna make it better. I'm just gonna rebuild the base to make it better than it is. And that's exactly what I began doing after I organized through everything here.
Ooh, you look famished.
I'd say that the new base is good to go. So I just packed it up for the day.
Hey,
And I waited
reporting for adventure.
till next time, I guess.
Hello, I'm HLNA, a fractal personality designed to be your guide. Just listen to me and you won't get yourself killed. Probably. I knew this too. Any landing? Welcome to the Genesis simulation. Here we tested across 5 items, each with its own dangers and rewards. I'll give it to you every step of the way. Interact with me when you must teleport from one item to another, or when you are spent some hexagons or taking missions. Most missions have a simulation test too. Help you prove you're the ultimate survivor. So, we have some exploring ahead of us.
We're now in the Genesis simulation, and unfortunately I had to turn down the settings because for some reason the ocean biome is so unimaginably laggy for me. I don't know why, I don't know what's causing it, but now we're playing with awful graphics, so yeah, hope you don't mind. Now, we're mainly here for one reason, and that is to get a bunch of missions done. Because, just like in Genesis 2, in order to fight the boss on this map, you need to do a bunch of missions. And so, I wanted to start doing that because we had absolutely no progress here whatsoever. So I decided just to start off with Wave Race 64. A simple race mission in order just to get that done. Something that I'd like to mention is that even though the gameplay here looks roughly fine, it doesn't seem to be stuttering that much at all, it was absolutely miserable on my end. I don't know what was happening, but I was getting such low frame rate and so many stutters. it was it was unimaginable how many I was getting throughout this entire experience. I won't show every attempt of me doing missions on all 3 difficulties, but I did end up crashing doing the alpha version of Wave Ray, so that's slightly interesting, I guess. At this point, I don't know why, but for me, the frame rate was absolutely miserable. I don't know why it's not showing in the recording, but it was miserable, and I just couldn't deal with that, so I just decided just to go teleport to a different biome in order to complete more missions there. Wow, I sure do love playing basketball in the middle of a swamp with a dodo as the basketball. Yeah, don't worry about it. This is a interesting mission. After finishing a few basketball games, I decided that I was just gonna do some of the hunt missions that were on this map. And something to note about these hunt missions is that these ones are stupidly difficult compared to the ones on Genesis 2. I'm doing this on Gamma right now, so you can't really see too much of the difference, but don't use a Giga for Alpha. If you're gonna be doing the hunt missions on Gen 1, try not to use a Giga, because that thing's 100% gonna rage, and you're most likely gonna die. Also, throughout this entire sequence, HLNA would not shut up. Like, every time that I'd move, she'd be like, "Oh, what's that over there? Oh, wait a sec, and I'll scan this for ya." It was miserable. After murdering a bunch of the brute creatures, I decided that I was going to do Bog Beatdown, a gauntlet style mission where you have to survive as many enemies as possible. I really like these missions, just having to survive an onslaught of creatures with just like with a relatively crappy weapon. It's just a lot of fun, and I really enjoy doing these. We're in space now, and it is incredibly wonky up here, apparently. Yeah, space is really wonky, especially when jumping and trying to use the Maywing. So throughout this entire time, I was incredibly scared of falling off the edge of the map. So, yep. So the first mission that I decided to do was Tokyo Skiff, a clear reference to Tokyo Drift, in case you couldn't tell. Where basically, we're just driving a skiff around in space. And it's pretty fun. The only problem is that I absolutely suck at turning this thing. So, I tried turning it, and it basically just stops. After flying around for a little bit, I decided that I might as well just do Space Jam, just to get that one out the way. It's basically Dodo Ball, except now it's a Bulb Dog, and you're in space with low gravity, and it's just as infuriating as you think it might be. Just because the low gravity is also really wonky, and also for the fact that you're just constantly surrounded by dangerous creatures here. So it definitely does not help when you're trying to play basketball and then you get like a raptor trying to come to you. I ended up failing this one. I'm not ashamed to say that. This mission sucked. Another day, another base being decayed. Yeah, there's. I was wandering around to continue doing some volcano missions, and this base was just in the middle of decaying. So I immediately did the logical thing and started seeing what I can grab from it. Like looking through some of the loot here, like this is just a little bit, just little snippets of the place, and it's still absolutely insane the amount of loot that was here. But don't worry, there's God knows how much here. I'm just surprised that nobody was already here trying to loot all of this. Like what the hell? You're saying somebody would skip all this loot right here? There was so much loot there that I had to run back over to Gen 2 to grab an exomech just to carry all the remaining things that were over there. Unfortunately, there weren't a lot of potted creatures, but we got way too many resources and other things like that. We are rolling in resources right now. We have so much now. But now what? I begin to wonder. And that's when it hit me. Let's go fight the Manticore. So we're fighting the Manticore now. So, we're doing beta Manticore. And this is my first time ever actually doing the Manticore fight, so I didn't really know what to expect. All I know is that there's death worms and crap. But apparently, the strategy is to kind of just stay near the platform so that the death worms can't really get to you. So that's what I'm gonna do. At least to try to do, at least.
Everything is finite. If your vision is limited, planets, spaces, even with advanced
Yeah, I'm not joking when I said that I genuinely don't know what I'm doing in this fight. Because originally I said to stay by the platform, but now we're just running around the arena. So yeah, so the main problem here would be death worms and eventually rock golems. Also kind of just actually reaching the Manticore since the Manticore's flying around. Just wildly, like it's just flailing around. Like, I would show more of the fight, but it's genuinely not that interesting. There's not much going on other than just spam clicking RT to shoot at the Manticore. The Manticore has been killed, and this is me trying to quickly dump all my stuff away because I do not trust the game with uploading my character. So I just put away my stuff into the Manticore, and then we proceeded to ascend off of the scorched earth.
You continue to impress, Survivor. As you have grown in strength, I have been searching Helena's memories, finding what I have forgotten all these long years. Her friends, and the journeys they had. Was it all for nothing? No. It had to be done, so that one day you could exist. Together, you and I We can put this right. You must travel onwards, survivor, for your greatest trials are still to come.